OC John. Of course you know who I am. And I'll be talking about racial injustice. Though this is a report, I still need to have a thesis. My thesis is that minorities should stop using their race as an excuse and should take the opportunity of education so they will have no one to blame. My second thesis is that lawmakers should make regulations to try to regulate people. Now, before we get into all of this, we need to know what racial injustice is. And I have some people who can shed some light. I'm here with
Bria Hernandez.
I'm here with Bria Hernandez. My question for you is, what do you think racial injustice is?
It's basically treating others just horribly based off what they look like.
Okay.
Racial injustice is when one race is persecuted or is unequal to the other race, right? Or treated
like whenever people are racist and stuff, it's being unfair to races.
Injustice is the mistreatment of one race as compared to other races.
Okay, that's a good answer. My second question
Making fun of someone's ethnicity, where they come from, just because of how they look, how they act.
Racial injustice is being treated wrongly because of one's race.
Okay. That was interesting. According to Google, what racism is. Racism is the belief that groups of humans possess different behavioral traits corresponding to physical appearance and can be divided based on the superiority of one race over another. That is extremely interesting. Well, as a wise person once said, and they were, it's not our differences that divide us. It's our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences. By Audre Lorde. Now, back to my thesis. When I stated that minorities should stop using their race as an excuse and should take the opportunity of education, I really meant it. Think about it. If education is free from 1st to 12th grade, then why are people using their race as an excuse? Why do they even have excuses? But to get a college degree, to get a good job, you need a college degree. To get an associate's degree, for the tuition, it costs $10,281. That's for a public school. To get a bachelor's degree, it costs $20,050. In the 2017 to 2018 year, this would be hard for them. And schools have a limited amount of scholarships. The answer is what we're looking for. The answer is for them to get jobs at places like McDonald's and Chick-fil-A. That way, they can get themselves out of this situation they've put themselves in. For my second thesis is that lawmakers should add some kind of regulations to try regulate people. People do these kind of acts because there are no penalties. This kind of mentality is not a gene. You can't inherit it, but a behavior you can learn. The lawmakers should reinforce the 14th Amendment so that racial injustice may slowly fade. As Maya Angelou once said, prejudice is a burden that confuses the past, threatens the future, and renders the present inaccessible. And now for a commercial break. Thank you for turning to the afternoon show, hosted by Ms. Truly. The last thing I want to quote is a quote from a person who you know. I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality. I believe that unarmed truth, unconditional love, will have the final word. By Martin Luther King Jr. Thank you.